Picture this, you're made of stardust. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a dying star billions of years ago. The ground beneath your feet was once an ocean of molten rock. The air you breathe was once poison. And your ancestors? They were microscopic specks floating in primordial soup. Today, we're going to unravel the most mind-blowing story ever told. The epic journey from the birth of our planet to the rise of human civilization. How did we go from a lifeless, burning rock to a world teeming with millions of species? Buckle up, because we're about to travel through 4.5 billion years of the most dramatic transformation in the universe. Our story begins 4.6 billion years ago in cosmic darkness. Just a swirling cloud of gas and dust left behind by exploding stars. Gravity worked its magic, turning tiny particles into pebbles, then boulders, then massive chunks of rock that collided to create our solar system and Earth. But this wasn't the blue marble we know today. Picture hell itself, a glowing ball of liquid rock, constantly bombarded by asteroids. Surface temperatures reached 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Lightning split the poisonous atmosphere while continent-sized volcanoes spewed lava rivers everywhere. No land, no water, no life, just endless destruction and chaos. For 500 million years, Earth remained this hellish furnace. Then something beautiful happened. The bombardment slowed, water began to condense, and rain fell for millions of years straight. These ancient storms cooled the molten surface, filling craters and valleys with the world's first oceans. Deep beneath these waves, near scorching underwater volcanoes, something impossible happened. In pools of superheated water rich with chemicals and minerals, the basic building blocks of life began to form. Around 3.8 billion years ago, the first living cells appeared, tiny bubbles of life, invisible to the naked eye, but with one incredible ability: they could make copies of themselves. For over a billion years, these microbes were Earth's only inhabitants. Then came cyanobacteria, remarkable organisms that discovered how to eat sunlight through photosynthesis. As they multiplied by the trillions, they pumped out a waste product that would transform our world: oxygen. This oxygen revolution was actually an environmental disaster, toxic to most existing life. But survivors adapted, and suddenly, complex life became possible. Jump forward to 540 million years ago, the Cambrian explosion. Life went absolutely wild. Nature invented eyes, shells, claws, and countless bizarre body plans. The oceans became an alien wonderland with giant sea scorpions, creatures with 5 eyes on stalks, and armor-plated fish. The real breakthrough came 365 million years ago when a fish called Tiktaalik made the most important journey in Earth's history, the first steps onto land. From there, evolution exploded. Amphibians became reptiles. Some reptiles grew massive, enter the dinosaurs. For 165 million years, these incredible beasts ruled everything. Then 66 million years ago, catastrophe struck. A 6-mile-wide asteroid slammed into Earth with the force of 10 billion atomic bombs. The impact threw debris into the atmosphere, blocking out the sun for months. In the darkness and cold that followed, the age of dinosaurs ended forever. But from destruction came opportunity. Small, furry creatures emerged from underground shelters. These early mammals were tiny but had secret weapons: warm blood, fur, and the ability to nurse their young. While the world healed, they inherited the Earth. Over millions of years, some mammals returned to the oceans as whales, others became bats. And some ventured into Africa's forests, developing grasping hands, sharp eyesight, and larger brains. These were the early primates, your distant ancestors. Around 7 million years ago, Africa's climate changed. Forests shrank into grasslands, forcing some apes down from trees. Walking upright gave them huge advantages. They could see over tall grass and use their hands for tools. Meet Australopithecus, like famous Lucy, walking upright and using simple stone tools. About 2 million years ago, Homo erectus appeared, the first truly human-like ancestor. They had larger brains and possessed a skill that changed everything. They could control fire. Fire scared away predators, provided warmth, and most importantly, cooked food. Cooked meat was easier to digest, freeing up energy for brain development. Around 300,000 years ago, the first modern humans, Homo sapiens, appeared in Africa. They looked just like us but lived in an unimaginably harsh world. No cities, no farms, just stone tools and fire. Yet these early humans possessed something extraordinary: imagination. They created art, told stories, developed languages, and formed communities. Around 70,000 years ago, small groups began the greatest journey in human history, leaving Africa to populate the entire planet. With primitive tools and incredible determination, they crossed deserts, mountains, and frozen wastelands, eventually reaching Australia, Europe, and the Americas. For over 200,000 years, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. Then 12,000 years ago, everything changed. The Ice Age ended, and humans discovered agriculture. Instead of constantly searching for food, people learned to grow crops and domesticate animals. For the first time, humans could build permanent settlements. With reliable food sources, populations exploded and specialization became possible. The first cities rose in Mesopotamia 5,500 years ago. Writing systems developed, mathematics emerged, and art flourished. From this foundation, civilization accelerated at breakneck speed. Empires rose and fell, technologies spread, and in just the past century, we've gone from the first airplane to artificial intelligence. So here we are, descendants of stardust, shaped by billions of years of cosmic accidents and evolutionary pressures. The same species that once huddled in caves now builds rockets to Mars and creates AI. But our story isn't over. Evolution continues, though now we're directing our own evolution through medicine, genetic engineering, and technology. Within your lifetime, humans might colonize Mars, cure aging, or even upload consciousness to computers. One thing is certain: the incredible journey from cosmic dust to conscious beings capable of understanding our origins is far from over. You are not just a random accident. You are the universe becoming aware of itself, the product of an unbroken chain of survival stretching back 4.5 billion years. Every time you look at the stars, remember you're made of the same stuff. Every breath contains atoms that once swirled in ancient oceans or glowed in distant suns. You carry the story of every creature that ever lived, every challenge overcome, every breakthrough that led to this moment. The next time someone asks where you came from, tell them you came from the stars, survived the death of dinosaurs, conquered fire, crossed continents, and built civilizations, all in preparation for whatever incredible chapter comes next. Thanks for joining this mind-blowing journey through deep time. If you enjoyed exploring the greatest story ever told, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible adventures through science and history. What part amazed you most? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, keep looking up, and remember, you are stardust contemplating the stars.